Sarah, hi. Thank you for coming. Oh, Emily, don't act so nice and naive. You know why I'm here. After all, I'm carrying David's child. What? Didn't you hear it the first time? This child is David's son. That can't be true. David and I were married. We loved each other. He would never. Oh, please. Do you think you were the only one he cared about? He confided in me and spent time with me. We had a connection and you couldn't understand. David would never betray our marriage. You're just making up lies. Lies? Do you think I would make something like this up? If what you're saying is true, why didn't David ever mention anything about this? He was afraid of losing everything he had built with you, so he made me promise to keep it a secret to protect his precious reputation. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm sorry, Emily, but it's time you face the truth. You were never enough for him. That's a lie. You can try fooling yourself, but the truth has a way of coming out, Emily. I suggest you prepare yourself for the reality you have been blind to all this time. No, David would have never done that. I won't let you get away with your manipulations. Good luck, Emily. You're going to need it. My name is Emily, and for 6 beautiful years, I was happily married to my loving husband, David. We were the epitome of a couple deeply in love, always envisioning a future where we would grow old together. While our journey didn't include any children, we never felt that void because our love for each other filled every corner of our hearts. In fact, I had always liked to think that we were more than just a couple. We were best friends, adventure buddies, and partners in crime. Our shared passion for excitement led us on countless adventures. We were avid travelers, constantly exploring new destinations and immersing ourselves in different cultures. Whether it was lounging on a tropical beach or wandering through historic streets, we found joy in discovering the wonders of the world together. Sports events and concerts were also regular highlights in our lives. We lived each day to the fullest, cherishing every moment and creating memories that will last a lifetime. David worked as a driver for a prominent company. His job demanded a significant amount of his time and energy, and his long hours sometimes meant we had less time together. However, I cherished the moments we did have. Life was beautiful, but as the days unfolded, I would soon discover that life can be unpredictable, testing the foundation of even the strongest bonds. On one fateful day, there was a ringing on my phone when I was at work. It was Sarah, one of David's colleagues, and her voice trembled with urgency. Something in her tone alarmed me, and my heart skipped a beat as I answered her call. With a shaky voice, Sarah relayed the devastating news that would shatter my world forever. David had been involved in a tragic accident, and before they could rush him to the hospital, he had passed away. The weight of her words crashed over me like a tidal wave, leaving me breathless and drowning in sorrow. At that moment, life lost all meaning. Despite the crushing pain, I knew I had to gather the strength to bid farewell to my beloved husband. With the support of my friends and family, I arranged a funeral that paid tribute to the special person David was. Almost everyone from his workplace attended the service, including Sarah. Little did I know that the funeral would become a stage for more shocking revelations. As soon as Sarah walked in, she was ready for a fight, even if it meant messing with someone else's funeral. Sarah, hi, thank you for coming. Oh, Emily, don't act so nice and naive. You know why I'm here. After all, I'm carrying David's child. What? Didn't you hear it the first time? This child is David's son. That can't be true. David and I were married. We loved each other. He would never. Oh, please. Do you think you were the only one he cared about? He confided in me and spent time with me. We had a connection you couldn't understand. David would never betray our marriage. You're just making up lies. Lies? Do you think I would make something like this up? If what you're saying is true, why didn't David ever mention anything about this? He was afraid of losing everything he had built with you, so he made me promise to keep it a secret to protect his precious reputation. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm sorry, Emily, but it's time you face the truth. You were never enough for him. That's a lie. You can try fooling yourself, but the truth has a way of coming out, Emily. I suggest you prepare yourself for the reality you have been blind to all this time. No, David would have never done that. I won't let you get away with your manipulations. Good luck, Emily. You're going to need it. As emotions ran high, my mother-in-law chose that pivotal moment to add fuel to the fire. Blinded by grief and anger, she pulled Sarah's hair, all while accusing her of tearing apart our family. The atmosphere was soon filled with chaos as the two women engaged in a heated argument. I felt an overwhelming responsibility to restore order and bring closure to this terrible event. Gathering what strength I had left, I stepped forward, my voice trembling as I intervened. I stopped the argument and promised Sarah that I would speak to her privately. There was a need to unravel the truth, no matter how painful it might be. Days after that, I was still in shock. It was the only thing that I could think of, so much so that I even had to ask for 2 months off work just to sort out my life. Doubt clouded my mind as I questioned everything I had believed about my husband. Taking a step forward, I reached out to David's colleagues, knowing that they were aware of the commotion Sarah had caused at the funeral. It was essential to gather their perspectives to piece together the puzzle of what had truly happened. David's co-workers, displaying kindness and empathy, willingly agreed to meet with me in person. They promised to provide me with honest insights. These conversations held the potential to shed light on the relationship between David and Sarah. I was prepared for the worst. However, as the meetings unfolded, I realized that everything was much more complicated than I thought. David's co-workers all admitted to growing a little uneasy as they saw the amount of time David and Sarah spent together. However, they knew that David was merely being kind and amiable, never suspecting any deeper connection. It was Sarah whose intentions were questionable. During these discussions, a woman named Rachel shared a very important piece of information. She used to be Sarah's close friend at work, but they had a fallout months ago. She encouraged me to track down Sarah's ex-boyfriend Stephen and confront him about their recent relationship. If there was any truth to Sarah's claims, Stephen might know something we didn't. Determined to uncover the truth, I managed to locate Stevens' contact information and arranged a meeting with him. As we sat down to talk, Stephen disclosed that he had ended his relationship with Sarah because he wasn't ready to become a father. Sarah, on the other hand, loved children. She has always wanted to become a mom. Stephen even emphasized that Sarah had always yearned for stability and financial security, something he couldn't provide for her. When I asked if he knew Sarah was pregnant, he was completely in shock. He told me that they broke up not long ago, but they still grabbed coffee with each other from time to time. If she was indeed pregnant, he would have known. Considering Stevens' story, it occurred to me that Sarah might be carrying Stevens' child rather than David's. Perhaps Sarah didn't trust Stephen enough, so she turned to another way to make sure her child was supported financially. After all, she might force me into giving David's insurance money to her as a form of child support. As my thoughts began to race, a sudden interruption pulled me back to reality. A text message notification from my family group chat flashed across my screen. The message contained a photo of me sitting alongside Stephen, taken during the meeting. My heart sank as I realized the implications. Everyone in the family was surprised by my presence with another man so soon after my husband's funeral. I swiftly rose from my seat, a mixture of embarrassment and urgency flooding through me. There was no time to explain or clarify the situation. I said goodbye to Stephen and quickly left. With what I knew about Sarah's relationship with Stephen, I confronted Sarah once again, demanding that she finally reveal the whole truth. But instead of an admission or remorse, Sarah brazenly insisted on receiving a portion of the insurance money. She refused to talk about the truth, which really got on my nerves. Sarah, enough is enough. Stop beating around the bush. No more games, no more manipulation. What is the real story here? Oh, so you really want to hear it, huh? Well, I'll tell you, but it will cost you. Cost me? What are you talking about? We are talking about my husband's memory, his legacy. It's not something you can put a price on. Oh, I think we can find a price, darling. You see, I have some very interesting photos of David and me. They could really tarnish his image, ruin all those beautiful memories you hold so dear. You think I'm going to let you blackmail me? No amount of threats or photos can change the love I had for David or the truth of our relationship. Love? Oh, spare me. I deserve a piece of what he left behind. His kid does. That's not his kid, Sarah. I don't believe that's the truth. I'm not giving you 1 cent. How dare you? Soon everyone will know just how terrible you and your marriage were. Pay up or watch me send out photos of David in my bedroom. No matter what you do, the truth will win. I won't give in to your threats. You think you're so brave, don't you? Let's see how brave you are when everyone finds out what a fraud you are. Refusing to succumb to her manipulation, I stood firm. I was shaking on the inside, but on the outside, I showed her how tough I could be. Deep down, I realized that her words were just a desperate attempt to save herself from the consequences of her own actions. Her intentions became clear, and I refused to let her hold power over me. Defiantly, I even dared her to follow through with her threats. I understood that the truth was on my side, and no amount of blackmail could change that. At one point, I stood up and left her there, letting her rambling about her nonsensical stories alone. I was done with her. However, Sarah's intentions escalated further. She was more calculating, resentful, and horrible than I had ever expected from a soon-to-be mother. A few days after our meeting, she crafted an elaborate sob story about how David had left her and his child and had it printed and delivered to every house belonging to my extended family. It was such a convincing story. She had all the details about his hobbies, his jobs, and his personality. After all, she did spend a lot of time observing him, trying to win him over. Fear crawled into our hearts as she threatened to share the tale online, threatening to unleash chaos and destroy our entire family's reputation. Refusing to be silenced or intimidated, I made a decision to trust in the love and integrity of my husband. I did think about the worst scenario. What if what Sarah said was true? What if David always lived a double life that I didn't know of? Eventually, I knew that I had to go with my gut feeling. It was an important decision, and I knew I had to do the right thing. I summoned the strength to call the police and sue Sarah. The legal system swung into action, demanding that Sarah undergo a parental paternity test. Expectedly, she persistently refused. Months passed and the courts relentlessly asked her to comply. Eventually, she succumbed to the pressure and underwent the test. The results of the paternity test were undeniable. Sarah was not carrying David's child. Her deceit and manipulation were crushed to the ground under the weight of scientific evidence. The truth was clear. Sarah faced the consequences of her action as the court ordered her to pay significant fines for her blackmail and fraudulent behavior. Everyone in town was made known of the news. Sarah had lost everything: her money, her reputation, and her chance to be a better mom to her kids. With my loved ones by my side, I embraced a life filled with happiness and cherished memories of my dear husband. As time passed, I found myself embracing new hobbies and interests, expanding my horizons and embracing the person I had become. I went back to traveling, going to concerts, and living the colorful life that David and I once had with each other. I missed him, but I was also so grateful for what I had. It became a way to freeze fleeting moments and appreciate the beauty that surrounded me. I found a strength I didn't even know I possessed. The scars of the past are only reminders of the battles I had fought and won. Life may have dealt me with a painful blow, but it also provided an opportunity for growth, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the precious moments we are given. I carried David's memory with me, forever grateful for the love we shared and the lessons he taught me. I am now at peace and enjoy life like how David would have wanted for